the most electrifying event you could possibly play at.
For some reason, every year it's that Anaheim event just seems to be the best one.
Most hyped up Call of Duty event every year.
The Anaheim crowd, it's literally electric. You walk in the venue and you feel that crowd.
It's just that one event per year that you don't want to miss.
Over top. Krim! It's Krim 6! Down to a 2v2. Oh my God! Enigma 6 shocked the world with a continent on their backs!
Complexity, something that no one thought could be done. OpTic Gaming just let it go. EG, Anaheim champion. OpTic Gaming are your 2016 Anaheim Open champions.
I think it's going to be the craziest Anaheim we've ever seen this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MLG Prime Time here at the CWL Anaheim Open. It's day one, and we have had a fantastic day of gameplay thus far, and we still have a couple more games to show you to close out the evening. Up next on the main stage, OpTic Gaming, the Green Wall, are in action against eUnited. Cannot wait for this series. eUnited could potentially come out and try and cause a massive upset. Of course, for OpTic Gaming, they were our champions here last time at Anaheim, but there has been so many games going on. I do want to take a quick kind of second to just take a step back and recap exactly where we are in terms of all the pools, because it's been very, very chaotic. But just take a quick moment to take a look at our results, where our standings are in each pool. We'll start, of course, with Pool A. As you said, so many games have been going on throughout the day. Remember, when you take a look at this pool, Rise Nation sitting at 2-0, Splice 1-1, E6 1-1, and C9 0-2. Are you surprised?
Yes. First things first, Rise Nation, they had that moment, you know, that sticks in everyone's mind where they didn't make playoffs. You got Looney head in his hands, and they've come back better than ever. They've just taken down Splice in a game 5, and you know what? Fair play to them. You know, they're top of their group right now. I do have to say, Cloud9, they're 0-2, but they have impressed me, you know, in some cases.
Yeah. A lot of potential interest for this group as well. I believe Rise is going to be playing E6 right now. So if E6 gets that win, they're tied 2-1. And then if Splice beats C9, C9's at the bottom, but then you get that three-way tie. So storylines can get kind of nutty. Friday for pool play is always a little bit wild, especially when you start tallying things up in the end. But hey, it might be a decent pool.
Yeah, map count going to be very, very important. I guess Splice has the better of it right now when you're talking about that matchup versus Cloud9. You expect them to come out and get that 3-0, but my prediction of that happening against Rise definitely did not happen. So anything could happen at this point. So many upsets going down early here at Anaheim. It's awesome to see.
Cloud9 doing Cloud9 things. Of course, they're 0-2. I mean, at least they're consistent, right? That's a good thing. But moving forward, we'll take a look at Pool B. This one a little more interesting. I mean, you can say Luminosity 1-1, Epsilon 1-1, Red Reserve 1-1, and Team Envious 1-1. All teams tied, remember?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Pool of Death by far. You know, good luck.
Yeah,
to
you were right.
Whichever open bracket team, good luck to that one. However, just the sheer factor that we had Red Reserve on one of the side stations here going up against Luminosity, and Red Reserve were up 2-1. I was thinking, hang on a second, are we going to see Red Reserve and Epsilon, you know, come out on top of this group? Like, is it possible? Because I believe Epsilon just took down Envy, from what I believe. So far, so good for those.
I am curious though, is this not kind of the exact scenario you want if you're an open bracket team? I mean, everyone's tied at 1-1. I mean, you could just go in and just cause a complete ruckus.
I would say that normally, but I think the level of competition in this group kind of goes against that. Yes, it is even bracket or standing-wise, definitely. Map count-wise, definitely. It could favor a team coming in, but with the level of play that all these guys are playing at, when you look at that group and you see Envy at the bottom, it's just completely unexpected. One of the best teams we have in the CWL in general, in last place there. If I'm an open bracket team, please keep me out of that pool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're going to have to win at least, like, what, 2 or 3 matches just to get into that second slot, and that has got to be the most difficult lineup we've probably ever seen in a pool. Like, that's beyond Pool of Death. That's Pool of Torture, or just something insane.
Pool of Torture.
Next level.
I had a very horrible thought, like Millennium, they don't make relegation, they go into open bracket. They fight tooth and nail to get back into
why,
you put them in there, and it's just like, slap them back, throw them back out again. Like, I just hope for their sake
on the return flight home.
They don't get into that pool.
Oh, dear. Savage.
That'd be brutal.
Pool of death.
That definitely would be a savage way for them to finish their CWL Anaheim Open. But we'll take a look now at Pool C, update you exactly where we are in the standings with this one. Of course, it's going to be Bittersweet sat at the top at 2-0, a 6-1 map count record. That, to me, is really what stands out the most. FaZe Clan at 1-1, EG 1-1, Team Elevate 0-2. Bittersweet playing very, very well.
Yeah, Bittersweet for me, biggest surprise. That game against FaZe, again on one of the side stations, I was like, geez, the FaZe fans have turned up in Anaheim. That was just, there wasn't enough room for them. And, you know, to see them lose against Bittersweet in that fashion, it was almost heartbreaking to watch. I hope these guys bounce back. I'm sure they will do. A long tournament ahead of them. But not a surprise for me. Elevate, you know, 0-2 currently. You know, we look at Dallas, we look at Atlanta, it was kind of the same story for that group of players, if you like.
Yeah, Bittersweet, though, I think we can't talk about them enough. I mean, talk about the proof. You know, you get into that GPL, your relegation team, you don't want to get into the GPL just to be at the very bottom, and they're making a case. They just took down the #3 team in the world. FaZe just had a fantastic performance, and they nearly 3-0'd them outside of that heartbreaking Hardpoint that Bittersweet lost 250-249. Great series that they played. They've proved that they deserve their spot.
And I guess that begs the question, how important or valuable was that relegation tournament for this Bittersweet squad?
Especially for a new team, most importantly, you can play all day online, but until you get here with your lives on the line, the rest of your career for the year on the line, with all this millions of dollars on the line, right? You want to play for everything there.
Yeah.
So they're able to do it. All that momentum is so important as a team, as a player, and especially a new group of guys coming together, sort of the leftovers, if you want to, of the rest of the teams, right? So really good job by them. They're on a roll right now. Talking about this group in general, I guess I would have swapped FaZe for them and then the EG and Bittersweet battle for second, so it's cool to see them stepping up.
Definitely is. And last but not least, we'll take a look at Pool D. Of course, OpTic Gaming cruising through here at CWL Anaheim. They are 2-0. eUnited also find themselves 2-0. Bear in mind, both teams 6-0 there on map count. Fnatic is going to be 1-2 at 0-6. Mindfreak, well, it's been a struggle, that's for sure. 0-3 and 0-9. I feel like this was the expected one, Chance.
Yeah, definitely to a degree. Of course, the question remains about that eUnited versus OG, obviously with Gunless not playing. But to me, if you're an open bracket team, that's the group you want to get into. You got two teams that are clear-cut at the bottom. You're trying to jump up in front of them, and then, you know, you either have to take down OpTic Gaming or an eUnited. But again, without that Gunless, there's still a huge question mark over the team, but we're going to get our answer shortly.
One of the most important things we need to talk about in the groups too is your placing in the group. Yes, top two are going to make it to that winner bracket, but if you are an open team like Chance is talking about, even if you get that third place spot, that bumps you up a few rounds in that loser bracket, which means a better placing overall. So even if you aren't going to think you're going to make it into that winner bracket through the pools, if it bumps you up a few placings, that's always good too.
Speaking to Fnatic after that game as well against Mindfreak, they lost 3-0 against OpTic and eUnited. Pretty expected. And I think Wuskins, he was kind of saying, I expected more from this Mindfreak squad. They 3-0'd them. And I have had so high hopes for this Mindfreak squad. You know, they got Dens back in, you know, he was doing some damage, but it just isn't working for them right now. And I expect more. I'm sure you guys, obviously from the APAC region, expect more as well. But Fnatic, they get the first win on the board. And I think that hopefully will stand them in good stead. Struggles
continue from Mindfreak, that's for sure. But as all of my experts have mentioned, of course, open bracket teams, they will file in tomorrow into our pool play matchup. And I believe we actually had Rich updating everyone on all things open bracket. Let's take a look.
Rich Gamble here on the floor in the open bracket. We have an update for you right now. Denial just won their series 2-1 and against Chip Gaming, and they are now set to play against Era. We also have Millennium winning 2-0 against Olympus Esports, so they're going to be playing against Gorilla Core. And TK went 2-0 up against Viscerant, and they're going to play Illicit next. That leaves us with Straight Ribbon, who won their series against Boss Fight, and now they are playing Saints and Angels. And we are going to keep you up to date on this particular series because this new Straight Ribbon team is looking very good. They have both Study and Dashy, and this combination looks like a recipe for success. We will give you an update as soon as this series wraps up, but until then, we're going to throw it back up to the main stage.
Thank you very much, Rich. Of course, that straight ripping squad, one that we all expect to make it out into pools. They find themselves into winners bracket round 4. Elsewhere, Millennium seem to be doing well. Supremacy doing well. Vitality, they're in round 3. But I feel like this open bracket is business as usual to you.
Oh, most definitely. I think you have to give a bit of advantage. Talking about that relegation tournament once again, those guys had a bunch of games under their belt against some of the top competition that they're going to face throughout the rest of the tournament if they do make it into pools. So looking for those 4 teams that didn't make it into stage 2 right away, but they can make some noise here throughout the open bracket.
Of course, let's not forget what is at stake here at the CWL Anaheim Open. So much money on the line, a $200,000 prize pool. First place is walking away with a whopping $80,000. So really, so much money to be won, and that continues, of course, throughout the rest of the year. We have stage 2, then COD Champs as well. There is a serious amount of money in Call of Duty esports. If you're a player, you're definitely going to be wanting to bring your A game. That is for sure. But moving forward, the next game up on main stage, OpTic Gaming versus eUnited. Prior to the team change of Gunless, of course, we expected this game to just be absolutely epic. When those 2 teams were drawn in pools, everyone was so excited. Does this game still have that same level of hype for you, Chance?
Well, it has the hype for me just to figure out how good the core 3 of United were. Again, when you're losing a player, you're going to learn a lot about a team. You get to find out exactly how good Gunless is. You can find out exactly how good the other 3 players are. I know one of the things Bristini was very adamant about was he was constantly baiting himself. He wasn't playing for those kills. He was trying to help Gunless shine, and he did that job very well. Well, now Bristini has a bit of a new job. He's not going to be baiting for Swarly. Swarly is not nearly as slay heavy as Gunless can be. So Bristini, he can put himself in a different role. How good and effective can those remaining teams be?
Formal just doing his best penguin impersonation. But we'll take a look at our maps now, and I'm curious to get your predictions on this one. Teepa, I do want to start with you here. I expect the OpTic Gaming to obviously be the answer, but looking at the map set, does eUnited stand a chance? I mean, their core 3 is so strong. This is a team that has already won a championship on this game.
I want to give them as much hope as possible, but for me, I feel like OpTic Gaming has looked just too dominant early here on this Friday at Anaheim. So I think I'm going to give eUnited just a map here, maybe one of the search and destroys, maybe the first hardpoint could go in their favor, but I think OpTic Gaming, the green wall, the crowd's going to be behind them. There's a lot of people in those seats. They're going to get loud. I'm giving them the advantage.
Yeah, I just turn around. There's a lot of people here.
There's just a few.
For Friday night of an event that is a very, very impressive. Shout out to everyone that made that trip, of course, to the CWL Anaheim Open. We love you guys. But I believe the game about to get underway. We can send it down to our fantastic casters for the series. It's Maven and Courage.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's prime time, baby. We've got 2 teams, 6-0 map count right now, all tied up. You ready?
Oh, I most certainly am, and I know we have a lot of people in the venue right now. Folks, I'm talking to you all. Look at me on the big screen. Get on your feet. I want to hear this Anaheim crowd louder than every year before. Oh, 2014 was so loud. Oh, it was louder the year before. No! It's gonna be this year that's the loudest, all right? And it starts right now with OpTic and eUnited.
This is gonna be a fun one, baby. And when you look at this, we talked about it coming into this. We had our round table, and some people are like, oh, eUnited are gonna struggle. We agreed. They have the core 3. You can plug people into different teams and still make a play. Gunless out, Scarlet in. They're gonna make plays. This is gonna be awesome. I'm ready.
Scarlet, yes. He's referring to the Killa tweet, if you missed that, where Swarly was called Scarlet. No, he's obviously been on big stages before, playing at Chicago Champs last year. This guy's been involved in Call of Duty for a long time, but it's no secret. He's got big shoes to fill on this team. Even watching eUnited earlier on when I was over at the analyst desk, there was a game 3 where Swarly, I believe, went like 11-23 in the uplink. They still won, and Arseny started roasting his own teammate. He goes, look what he did. Mike's going to step this up. It's all banter with this squad. Honestly, I think it works for eUnited. They're coming into this with a lot less pressure on this core 3 of players because everyone thinks Gunless does everything for this team.
This is going to be tough, though. We know they were good in stage 1, struggled at playoffs, but you have OpTic Gaming favored on every single map, except for the game 2, in which teams, neither team won a single throwback or search and destroy throughout stage 1. But outside of that, this map set is heavily favored towards OpTic Gaming. I tend to agree with the desk. I'm seeing 3-0-3-1 for OpTic right now, but the countdown is on. eUnited, OpTic Gaming, a rematch from your Atlanta final, a rematch from your Dallas final. It's time, buddy. It's time.
Oh, a lot of people want to see how this match plays out. I want to speak quickly to the observer. Yes, backstage formal. This is a strategy we've seen adopted a lot more from OpTic Gaming, especially on retaliation. Talk about something that I know will get the crowd hyped up. It's one of the best players in Call of Duty history, Formal, with the sniper rifle in a respawn game mode.
Well, let's see how it goes off the break spot.
Bye-bye!
Going to connect, trying to find more, and you see everybody hitting lower bridge, hiding behind the cars. Oh, the first shot I thought could be on as well, but now pushing forward with the pistol, not able to tag up one from behind. Kills beginning to go the way. It's Swarley coming in with 2 kills for eUnited, and they'll hold control.
eUnited were ready for that from Formal. They wind up sending 3 or 4 NV4s off that first break. It was 3 with Swarley running the K-bar. They wanted to try to gun him right off that bike area or that bus area, and it wound up working out. He only gets 1 OpTic, not able to get a pressure inside the Hardpoint, but you can see slowly the retake does come in. It's 3 dead on a United. OpTic Gaming now on the board.
But let's talk a little bit more kind of about, we were talking about the gunless situation. I mean, I think we're of the opinion, if you have this OpTic Gaming team and you sub one of those guys out and you put in a pro, semi-pro, they're still going to perform okay. Yeah. Will they maybe get to the level they normally do? No, but when you maintain that core, you're okay. Swap 2 guys out, maybe not, but 1, you can still make plays.
For me, it's pretty simple. Gunless was a very consistent player for eUnited, where at times some of his teammates might slow down. We know Prestigi's had some of his rough games. Silly, we've seen either drop 40 or sometimes drop less than 20 in hardpoint maps. You just need the rest of that core 3 of Silly, Pristini, and Arcades to always put up consistent big numbers. It's going to be the major test for them in this series. Again, to those just tuning in, this is a matchup in this Pool D between 2 teams that have yet to lose a map so far at the CWL Anaheim Open.
Well, Swarley, the fill-in right now, 7-2, 4 streak for him. There's a 5th, sitting at the edge on steps, trying to get the angle, able to win yet another one. 25 off Trinity Rockets. Bombardment lying in wait as well, and Lower Street has been absolutely dominated by eUnited.
And this has been a critique we've seen a lot more as of late, Maven, of Scump in Hardpoint. A 1-5 start from him. This is a guy that typically is leading in the slang, and sometimes in maps, he just can't seem to get a foothold at the beginning of a game.
And that particular Hardpoint, I was watching OpTic Gaming scrims, and Formal was starting to get a little bit heated. He's like, everyone else is so focused on patio control. Why the hell are we sending flanks and stuff and not locking down the key area that's going to overlook the Hardpoint? And there you see yet again, OpTic dominated on that Lower Street. And now look who has the rotation. Swarley already in the next Hardpoint. Let's see if Scump and the boys can open things up.
Yeah, this is where the worries begin to come in on Money Hill right now on Retaliation. When we talk about Money Hill, it's a Hardpoint that's pretty easy for a team if they can set up early to get a majority of that time. eUnited had that setup, but now OpTic Gaming beginning to charge on in. Swarley doing what he can to try to stay alive, but I do believe OpTic will get the break. There's still 30 seconds left here as well, so this could be a good chunk of time to begin the comeback as Crim6 picks up 2 more.
Crim's starting to heat up, and we know how good OpTic has been in Hardpoint, but in particular on this map, they won 75% of them through Stage 1 in playoffs. Looking at eUnited, I know stats aren't the whole story as they're going to have a different player on the team, but only 40% for them. So this is one where you should see OpTic heavily favored, and that's kind of the story of this series.
That's big right there. Formal was trying to be a thorn on the side of eUnited. You saw him pushing towards that back spawn. Right now on your minimap, that hill just rotated to the destroyed building, but unfortunately Formal dead before the rest of OpTic Gaming can begin to push through. Thankfully, they have quite the playmaker in Karma, who is at least able to contest for a second, relieve some of that pressure. OpTic again rotating later than eUnited towards these money hills. They keep fighting from the back foot. They've got to change that as the game goes on.
Well, let's look at Arcades right now. One of the more accurate NV4s in the game, playing at the mid-bus. He tagged a Formal in the backside. Now picked up Scump. Second, trying to push inside. Finally, he'll drop. It's Formal, Crim, and Karma all on the kill feed. Pristini still here doing damage. Picks up 2 before Crim of OpTic Gaming is able to close it out. eUnited still enjoying a 30-point advantage. We got 15 seconds left, and we're going to rotate into Hotel Hallway.
And again, look at this. Scump 5 and 10 right now. We know this is not typically how he stays throughout these games, right? We talk about it all the time where that switch just kind of turns on. And once he begins to pick things up, he was one of the highest kills per respawn in Stage 1 of the Call of Duty World League Global Pro League. When that happens, does that then reflect in the score for OpTic? They're now down by just 10. Imagine if Scump started winning these one-on-one gunfights. They would begin to run away with this game, man.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Breakout at Stage 1 where he was triple negative. He comes alive, and it's a 100-point swing. You expect it to happen at some point here. The OpTic chant starting in the crowd right now.
There's the lead.
Crim's actually on a 4 streak right now. Can we see how close he is to streaks? 12 and 6. Still got a ways to go. Just about to pick up the Scarab to work with. Teammates leading in front. Finds another one second here, challenging at the edge, and finally, he will fall. We've got 30 seconds left at Hotel Hallway, and eUnited now have control.
And if I'm an eUnited fan right now, yes, am I happy? It's a very close game off the break, absolutely. But what gets scary is you think about the great hold that they had at not only Lower Street, but then the start of Cathedral. One thing I want to see eUnited do better, in the second half of this game is if they do get the early rotation, do a better job of holding the push from OpTic Gaming. Do not give them a chance to break on their first, second push of a hill. Get yourself a full 60 to really blow open this game.
Well, Jack, let's see what eUnited can do here. RCs tries to peek the edge, but two players from OpTic Gaming already set up on bridge. Can they do some damage? Yet another lead change comes in. OpTic back in control. Crim6 hunting the backside towards destroyed building. Able to win one, but Silly is going to cut him down. Formal goes ahead and tries the FDL to find it. I think he actually goes right over the player's head.
And this has actually been what Formal's done throughout the entire day so far. He's been playing extremely aggressively with that FTL jump, basically to try to catch timings on his opponent. Right there, it doesn't work out. It's a very 50-50 type play. But here's the worry. Look at Scump now. A 5 streak. Make it 6. And oh no! It's full streaks now for Scump on the side of OpTic Gaming. And Maven on a map like Breakout. Please explain to viewers at home why it's so important for score streaks on this map.
Well, first though, you mentioned Scump swinging back into this. As soon as he does, look at the scoreline. They're up 30 points. But the reason they're so important, especially when you have two Titans in North America competing, if this is a close game, time and time again, we see it end at the bridge hardpoint, like you just saw. If you have Trinity Rockets, if you have bombardment, Scorchers to work with there, it wins the game. It ices a team, gives you complete control, and you can lock it down. Those will be crucial down the stretch.
And what have we already critiqued eUnited about on this game so far? When they get an early setup, giving it up too easily to OpTic Gaming to where they can split time even though they rotate early. Now, if eUnited rotate early, OpTic have the Trinity Rocket, have the bombardment, things to force eUnited not only out of position, but potentially wipe them off the map.
Well, Scump, he was just on a 5 streak, looking to answer right back with 4 in a row. He's absolutely heated up at 18 and 14 now. But the big thing right now, if you're eUnited, you're starting to trail a bit, but you need to try and get some early rotations and make Scump use those streaks. You can't let him save that to the end of the game till crunch time. You have to get those out of his hands. But you've got a 4 streak from Scump. He falls, you go right over to Crim, who's now got 5 in a row, and he's getting awfully close to streaks. 125 off is the Crim bot.
He's double positive on a 7 streak as well. Doesn't get the final score streak as he tried to slide into the hard point. But either way, the damage has already been done. And look at the difference here now, Maven. It's OpTic not only in control of a full 1-minute lead, they're in control of the hard point, and kills are still raining down to their favor.
I was about to critique a little bit there for eUnited. I thought they were going to fly at Scump 1 by 1 and feed him a bunch of kills, but they're finally able to swarm him. Pristini and company trying to push through, but Formal and Karma holding the edge inside a market. Now wrapping to the backside is Formal. Looking for anybody pushing over bridge or out the backside of Hotel Hallway. He should find easy pickings here if he can get set up.
And another big thing to point out at home, how important those payloads are as eUnited go begin to push. They don't have any to work with. It's just straight up gunfights is all they have on their side. Trinity Rocket now coming in, an example of what's going to happen. It's going to wipe everyone from eUnited off the map. 25 seconds of scrap time that they should have had to begin to mount the comeback will now go in favor of the green wall. We're about to see a 100-point game, Maven. This game was tied 114 to 114.
And I like that Trinity Rocket use. If this was a lower scoring game right now, maybe not, but the fact that you can kind of put them away with 20 more points and get to this edge is huge. But Formal keeps going, 4 in a row, 21 and 17. The man is a beast. It was Karma and Crim carrying the slaying early. Scump and Formal have come alive, and that's no knock to Crim because he's still 25 and 13. And look at that time in the hard point, buddy. 1:42, he's doing it all.
This is what makes this team so scary, Maven. They're trying to make a statement here in game number 1 of this best of 5. Folks, it's prime time for a reason. Every single kill that comes in right now, hearing the crowd get louder and louder. That's why Anaheim is famous for it, baby. Camo now earned by Karma. OpTic want to win on this destroyed building hardpoint.
Well, they've still got 20 or so seconds to work with that. They can close it out. Karma trying to deal with pressure in the backside. Not able to do it, so they're not going to win it here. eUnited trying to claw back in this one. Can Silly, Pristini, Arcades, and Swirly mount this comeback? Unfortunately, all 4 are dead. OpTic swarming right now, and as we rotate into Hotel Hallway, this might zip it up.
This was a close game, but guess what? That was when the slaying is even. Right now, it is entirely in favor of OpTic Gaming. They're 4 seconds away from taking map number 1, and with that kill, they should shut the door. OpTic Gaming on the verge of the map win. There it is, 250 to 133.
OpTic fans getting hyped. OpTic players look like it's business as usual.
Look
Game
at that
1
crowd.
goes to OpTic, and the crowd makes some noise. It's Anaheim. It's just day 1. So much incredible action to come.
Every record for attendance is going to be shattered this weekend, and you can see right there at the crowd on just day one, it's already insane. What a difference in a game we saw from the first set of hard points to the second set, and the big difference again. Scump turns up, Crim continues to stay hot, Formal gets the three-piece as well, and Karma again. He doesn't make the flashy plays, but he's the guy that winds up just getting the dirty work done. Everyone turning up for OG, and ironically enough, Swarley statistically put up the best numbers that map for the side of eUnited.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't be too shocked with that. You know, I talked about the fact that these are favored maps for OpTic Gaming, and as much as we're talking about eUnited and the fact that I think they can make a deep run and have a great run this weekend, I mean, they start out 6-0. It's a little bit different when you're playing in some competition versus playing at OpTic Gaming when you have a new player coming in and you lose maybe a top 3 player in the game right now on Gunless. It's going to be an incredibly tough matchup, but if these guys have proved anything all year long, they love to prove people wrong. And what more? How big would this win be? I know it's just pool play right now, but still, man, just come in, go 3-0. Be incredible, man.
It most certainly would. Another thing to mention as well, that is the first map loss this weekend so far for eUnited. They are a perfect 2-0 in series, but now 6-1 overall in maps. OpTic Gaming still with the quote-unquote dream alive, now at 7-0 in maps, still yet to be defeated in anything. And don't forget, folks, there is still a lot of Call of Duty to be played today. After this series, we'll have FaZe Clan going up against Evil Geniuses as we keep primetime going. And then after that, you'll see Arcities from eUnited, as well as that man on the left side of your screen, Scump from OpTic Gaming, playing in our once-a-year all-star game, a live draft. It's going to wind up being pro mod setting, search or destroy. You and I are casting it.
I'm ready.
I'll tell you right now, we might say some things that get us close to losing our job. We're going to have some fun with that.
I did in the All-Star game last year. We had Machine with us. I think
Yeah,
you were
wore
playing.
a wig, you wore a cowboy hat.
Yes, I did.
I don't think that's going to happen this time.
Probably not. I got warnings from that one. But we are certainly excited for the All-Star match and all the great Call of Duty remaining this weekend. God, it's just, you know, we've been hyped for Anaheim. We know how crazy it can be, but just seeing the crowd like this already on a Friday, man, already filled up. Just, I can't wait till, it's going to be standing room only on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
As we have these matches. And it's nuts because we have $200,000 on the line here, but then we're right into stage 2. We basically have a week and we're playing for, what, $700,000 on the line there. A week off, then it's champs for $1.5 million. There's a lot of money over this next 2 months.
Oh,
man.
gosh.
It's awesome.
$2.4 million in prize pools across the next couple months of major CWL tournaments. Obviously, tickets still available. Be sure to visit mlg.tv/events to see how you can wind up attending some of those major Call of Duty tournaments. There's Karma on your screen, as well as Arcities from eUnited. These two will definitely be going at it here on Throwback Search and Destroy. And Maven, you talked about how this is a map that, honestly, neither team saw much success on.
Well, it's funny, though, to me, because if you talk to, Aches, and you heard him on the analysis desk a couple weeks back, talking about the fact that eUnited was one of the best throwback S&D teams. They created actually a lot of the strats that teams started to use. They were very, very good. They always won it. They were so tough to beat. Then they come into stage 1, they go 0%. OpTic goes 0%. So I don't know what to expect here. Both teams have been abysmal on this particular map in Mo, but I do want to ask you, Jack, with Gunless out, obviously there's pressure on Swarley, but do you think there's more pressure on anyone in particular on this United team, or is kind of spread amongst the guys? Like they just all need to step it up?
Honestly, yes, everyone needs to step it up, but it is Swarley. There's no other way to put it. I mean, when I talked to him earlier, he said it's been a tough transition. He's having to run an ERAD on basically every single map, and it's something he hasn't had to do so far this year.
Lucky for him, it's a dominant weapon. I talked to Slasher after they lost the series earlier, and he was not pleased with the ERAD. He's like, I was getting just melted by that thing. We know how powerful it can be, but here we are, just 5 seconds away from kicking off game 2. Arcities will have the sniper in hand, and he's hit some nice ones against this OpTic Gaming team in the history of Infinite Warfare.
Let's see what he does towards Lemon right away. He knows where Formal likes to go. Towards that back bus side. OpTic won't do it this time around, though, as they'll charge right towards middle map, and it's Pristini getting first blood.
A pistol not going to be enough with Crim's in your face, but quickly advantage to eUnited. But Formal able to win a close and tough one there with the NV4. Gets away with his life as well. Suddenly, it's Swarley, the newcomer, by himself, trying to clutch up against one of the best duos in the history of Call of Duty. Not able to get it done. Formal finds the kill.
Even with first blood, they can't close it on out. Crim surged right through middle map to at least make it a 3-on-3. As we'll take a look here at how Formal cut down Swarley. Doesn't get much easier than that, as he's got a very stacked NV4, only running 2 perks. And overall, what, 5 attachments on that weapon? Wants to show off his gun skill, and I think that's the way you do it.
Absolutely. Here we go. Round 2. You see Formal start off nicely at 2-0. No one really getting anything going yet for eUnited, but if you see on the minimap, all the pressure from eUnited going to be mounting towards that B site. Crim6 will be the one that has the quickest rotation through mid-tracks if he opts to hit that. But this should be a very quick plant. Swirly getting it down, and now the collapse going to come through, but Versini already able to open up with the first blood.
Versini with the first blood. Crim6 and Formal, though, just like last round, even it back out. As now it's Crim, the two-piece with the E-Rad. It's Silly all by himself. It's a quick little cleanup. Looked like there were some extra shots there on the side of OpTic Gaming as they wanted to make sure there was no way he was getting back up.
Well, here comes the defuse, and Jack talked to me a little bit about we had some rule changes to the CWL settings coming in for the bomb plants, and I know we've mentioned it a couple times this weekend, but we've got a lot of viewers coming in, I'm sure, for prime time. So talk a little bit about the changes.
So in the recent weeks, it went from basically you always want to give your plant and defuse to your camo player so we can get closer to earning that very impactful payload ability to now really, hey, on offense, yes, you can still give it to your old camo player just so that he can wind up playing that objective, earn himself some streaks. You're already used to him having that objective, but mainly for those defuses, it comes back down to who's closest to streaks. Focus much more heavily on earning those score streaks because now defuses and plants no longer give you anything on that payload meter.
Well, let's go right into round 3 here. Scump gonna find a first blood. And speaking of first bloods, I was looking at some of the stats we go over with JP. OpTic Gaming, one of the best teams in the game at getting a lot of first bloods. eUnited, not as many, but better at converting those actually into wins. But if you're gonna see first kills, OpTic will be huge. You see them continuing to roll. These guys are looking confident. I mean, we know when they're on a tear. What was it, 23 straight maps they had at one point this year?
Yes.
When they are in form, there will be people we talk during our roundtables about who's the favorite coming into this, and a lot of us still said OpTic. We caught some flack. How can you say that after Splice and LG, how they looked? I stand by it, man. As long as these four people are together, they will be the favorites for every event for me.
Especially when they've won the last 2 major open LAN events, when you think of the CWL Paris Open as well as the CWL Dallas Open. eUnited now just trying to 4-hit towards middle map. You've got Formal with the MV4 watching over. A quick trade from Karma. It's all falling apart quite quickly now, as again, it's Smarly by himself, trying to see if he can convert at least 1 round for eUnited in this S&D.
The last time it was against Formal and Scump. This time it's Formal and Crim. And just like the previous 1v2, it's Formal finding the kill, shutting down Swirly.
Look at this movement right here. Bounces right off that wall.
Woo. That's silky smooth.
It most certainly is, just like your bald head.
Yes, no, it's not. It's getting a little rough. I got to buzz it in the morning.
Okay.
What if I look like with Swirly's hair? Can somebody Photoshop that?
Photoshop that, please. Oh, God.
I would look like an idiot.
That is quite the image, as we'll go ahead and move forward now into the next round. It's OpTic cruising so far in this series. They're up 4-0 in this S&D. And if you missed map 1, it went from a close game to a completely different story towards the end of that one. Another first blood for OpTic Gaming.
And I'll have to see Formal stats in S&D at the end of the day. I think he went 10-1 against Mindfreak in their first series. He's 5-0 right now. But speaking of Crim6 as well, he is 6-1. I think he just found the 7 fist bumps out for OpTic. And this has been a very, very one-sided affair.
So we talked about how poor this eUnited team was in stage 1, even with gunless. In throwback S&D, the 0% win rate. Yes, OpTic had a 0% win rate as well, but right now, if OpTic 6-0s them in this S&D on this map, that just, I think, tells the story of just how kind of lost eUnited right now are this map game mode combination.
Well, I think, when you talk about somebody else coming in, we know how good Gunless has been in Search. Do you think maybe this hurts you more in Search than in Respawns? Or is it pretty even for you? I'm just wondering, I'd be curious to ask the players, in a position like this, where does it hurt you more?
You can make an argument either way. I think right now, though, the fans want to see a potential 6-0 Formal with the missile.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 6-0. That right there tells a big story for me. As it really, that was not even close. I don't know how else to say it.
Not only was it not close, but that was fast. that was a 5-minute search to destroy.
Yeah.
I think. That was real quick.
FaZe and EG fans are thanking them for getting the schedule back on track from the little delay we had from the Game 5 series all day. A couple almost reverse sweeps in the main stage. Obviously, you try to factor into the schedule, but it's just crazy.
I feel like every single series I've watched has either been like a fast 3-0 or a really, really long 5-game series.
Oh, yeah.
Attempted reverse sweeps or falling a little bit short in the Game 5s. It's been a long day 1, but it's going to be a long and incredible weekend. But so far in this series, I don't know that I thought eUnited was going to put up a huge fight against OpTic with the roster change and with the way OpTic has been playing, but OpTic continue to roll 6-0 for Search and Destroy. Can they close it out with a 3-0 in the Uplink and go 9-0 to kick off day one of the CWL Anaheim Open? We'll find out after this quick break.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at your key player matchup going into Uplink. You can see so far this weekend, both Scump and R-Cities have been putting up big numbers. Scump narrowly beating out R-Cities in dunks and total points, but it's R-Cities with the slight edge in Uplink KD. Either way, these two have been monsters so far. R-Cities, though, the guy for me to watch in this game 3 if they want any chance in completing the potential reverse sweep against OpTic Gaming. Or will the green wall stay perfect on day one with the 9-0 map count? Let's find out as we head into game number 3.
We are back live at the CWL Anaheim Open on your screen. The King. He has been dominant so far. OpTic Gaming completely in control. The fans have been on their feet, getting the hype throughout the course of this one. And I think, was that OpTic J? I think he said it was seventh Anaheim or something. He's a dinosaur, man.
OpTic J, the MVP of the Ultimate of OpTic. We know what happens when he's not there to play in those matches.
Quiz plays, and they struggle.
Oh, gosh, most certainly that is the case. But either way, though, we hope you're enjoying the coverage of the CWL Anaheim Open. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am for this weekend as it goes on. The Open bracket is still well underway. So much talent there. Who's going to be filling in these pools as it goes on? We'll find out tomorrow. Either way, though, our sights right now are on this match between the two top teams in Pool D, OpTic and eUnited, with OG currently up 2-0 in the best of 5.
I'm curious, you talked about the Open bracket. I don't, since, we have 5 teams in these pools, we have most of our kind of top elite talent in here. Is there anyone from the open bracket you really think is going to come in and make some noise?
Straight ripping, someone that comes to mind. Right?
Maybe Millennium?
A Millennium team that, yes, they have struggled, but they have now won their series. As you saw Marky B celebrate, I think they went on an 0-8 streak in series since the last couple events, which is obviously rough. Some of the squads that obviously didn't make it into relegation, probably your lead teams in that one. We'll have to see, though, who can wind up making it out of there. Maybe some fresh talent. That's what it's all about. But, folks, this could somehow be it already. In our best of 5 between OpTic and eUnited, it's going to come down to Precinct Uplink. You saw our key player matchup between Arcitys and Scump. For you, who's the one that shows up bigger on this Game 3?
I'm looking at Scump, man. Specifically this map and mode. OpTic Gaming through stage 1 in playoffs won 100% of their Precinct Uplinks. Next would be Throwback if we get there. OpTic Gaming won 100% of their Throwback Hardpoints.
If we get there.
Yeah, like these next two, this is why you felt pretty ill about it for eUnited, just how good some of these maps are for OpTic Gaming. But Arcitys, another big part of that key player matchup. He has a ton of work to do without Gunless on this squad. Let's see if Arcitys can step it up and take over.
My good friend, Nick, just took a great photo of the crowd here on Friday, on day 1. I stole it. I'll be honest. I stole the photo, posted it to my own Twitter. I'm sorry, Nick. I apologize. I'll give you hugs later. But either way, can't believe how many people are already here. It's only just setting the tone for what's going to be an incredible weekend. Off the break, though, it is Arcitys, our key player on the side of eUnited, getting first blood for his team.
Well, let's see if they can turn this into points. The answer will quickly and swiftly be no, as OpTic Gaming answers with a couple kills of their own. It's going to be an Arcitys make a play. Formal has that pre-aim. Scump connects with the ERAD. Now they're out mid-street. Drone in the hand of Karma. He's going to be looking for the 1-point toss, or does he actually go in for the dunk? There's the dunk. You see it from Formal's POV. 2-0 in the opening 40 seconds for OpTic Gaming.
That's a start you want to have if you're a Green Wall fan. And again, what does it come down to? 3 players positive off the break, just winning their gun engagements. Already Karma trying to break towards those streaks. Can't clean up Swarly, but he has cleared a lane for Crim6 and Formal to try to put more pressure onto the side of eUnited. Crim just going to dance around with this drone as he waits for his teammates to come off the spawn.
Yeah, as Formal drops, he wisely just backs down for now. Wait for a couple kills to open up. Make sure your gun up at the pressure starts to mount from eUnited. Now you've got 2 kills to go your way. You win that against Arcitys. The call is to go. But now it's slowed down for a moment. Drone back in the hand of Formal as 2 are down for OpTic Gaming. And they're trying to hold off the flood of eUnited.
They most certainly are. Scump still just staying alive inside lobby. This is where he will absolutely shred with the ERAD in hand. Unfortunately for him, though, his lead blocker and Karma is dead, and that'll stop the drone in its tracks. 90 seconds into this game, it's still eUnited scoreless.
Well, Pristini able to pick up a few nice kills at mid-map. He was about to have 4 in a row, but can't outgun Formal. We'll now swap over to Swarly's POV. They've got the drone here at Cherry Blossom, looking for kills to try and get it through. Silly led the way with an opening kill. Silly leads the way with a second kill. 2 down for OpTic Gaming. This is a chance for attack, but they don't have the drone in hand. They push through this top side. There's still players for OpTic Gaming cutting off any reinforcements. It gets shut down.
There's been a couple times where I've looked at this minimap for eUnited, and they're just so spread out, scattered. You don't see a clear path for them to begin to kind of make an offensive push. Now they're all together. Karma still trying to get the angle, at least does get one. OpTic will, though, have to drop the drone and try to slay out before they can go for at least a 1-point play.
Well, what do you think? I mean, I know it's only been a couple maps with it, as lopsided as this is.
Oh, gosh, that was not even close.
He stays alive for a moment, but not a great toss. But back to what I was saying with these couple of maps we've seen, do you already think like maybe this eUnited team, yes, they can beat a lot of teams, but they don't have what it takes to hang with the likes of OpTic Gaming with this current roster?
Yeah, you could make that case already. It's tough to say. Yes, this is the first time they faced OpTic Gaming now as a lineup. Swarly just kind of beginning to get comfortable with this team as they've only been playing together as a roster for the last couple of weeks. So no matter what team of players you are, when you're facing a squad that's been together for 2 years and you just got a new 4th 2 weeks ago, you're going to have your fair share of troubles no matter who the players are on the team.
Well, back to the action. Drone in hand of Karma will try and dip out, get the 1-point toss, but right into the hands of a eUnited player. Nice defensive play.
That was Arcitys, and look at the guy. He's 10-7, first player on his team to hit that double-digit kill mark. The interception there as well keeps it a 1-possession game. It's little plays like that are the reason why he's our key player in this game mode.
I mean, I know you don't have any points on the board for eUnited, but the one positive is, you know, you haven't given up that spawn trap. You haven't allowed OpTic Gaming to get you pinned and really start to roll on you. You've done a good job keeping this within striking distance. Now with 90 seconds remaining on the clock, the drone in the hand of eUnited. They get a point on the board, and now maybe a chance for more, but at the drone spawn is going to be Scump, but 2 players down for OpTic Gaming.
I don't know why Pristini's staying there. They don't have lobby control that whole time. He's just sitting on the portal of OpTic Gaming. If they're going to do that, they need to have a player ready to begin to rally the drone. They had nobody there. Finally, look, he's still trying to trail. He's still trying to catch up to OpTic. Meanwhile, Formal now has the objective. Here, there's the dunk. For me, a misplay from Pristini. You need a player inside that lobby area where that drone spawns if you're going to stay and basically just sit in the opposing team's portal.
Nice heads-up play from Formal there. Trusts his teammate Krim to look over him, but now a counter-attack opportunity. You've got a free dunk here. Brilliant stuff from eUnited. They attack quickly, and there it goes through. A dunk for Arcitys, cover in from his brother Pristini. Silly in on the action as well. OpTic not able to clear their base. Silly's got 3 in a row.
Oh, but look at the spawn that just came in. They just got blessed on the side of OpTic Gaming. Formal, the reason I say it, Formal spawned near that top right side of the minimap at Statue. There was about a 1-second window where that could have happened. He luckily got it, which just saved another rallied score from coming in on the side of eUnited. Honestly, if Formal does not get that spawn, eUnited go to the half with at least a tie game.
Yeah, they may even get a dunk there to take that lead. The final 5 ticks. Shouldn't be any more points on the board. Formal, though, will end 18-10 and on a 5 streak at halftime. Hell of a performance from him, but right now you're only holding on to a 1-point advantage. This one looking to come down to the wire, Jack.
OpTic Gaming now 5 minutes away from 3-0ing eUnited to kick off prime time here on Friday at Anaheim. That would put OpTic Gaming at 3-0 in series, 9-0 overall map count. There's a look at eUnited. This team, though, we know them, Maven. How many times have we seen them go down 2-0 and then just decide to turn things up when they need to at least try to force a reverse sweep?
And that's what we'll see. Does this team still have that ability to do it with a different roster? It'll be exciting to see if they're able to pull it through. Pristini with 3 kills, cuts down everybody on OpTic Gaming, snaps back for the 4th, but Krim will get the better of him. Nice opening there from Pristini. Unfortunately, not going to turn into points here early.
And the reason why it doesn't turn into points, the rest of his teammates died.
Yeah.
He gets the 3-piece. He was the last one alive. There's no offensive play off of that for the side of eUnited. And wow, one of these shots from Karma nearly gets the 3rd. Still stays alive. Now he's got the drone. They've got the lane cleared out as well. OpTic Gaming going for the push.
And I think what's scary right now for everyone else in attendance for these teams, when do you beat OpTic Gaming? It's usually early. You beat them at bull play. You beat them winners round 1. If they start the day 9-0, that's sending a message to everybody. Stage 1 was a fluke. We felt we should have won it. You heard the interview with Scump. They're pissed off, and they're showing it here early.
Yeah, and Scump there gets his revenge for the botched 1-point throw earlier on. He'll put that one on the board to make it a 2-point game, and Karma, we're just following him as he's shredding everything in his path on a 4 streak now. Everyone on OpTic Gaming positive. There's the dunk, too. They just look like the better team right now, Maven. There's nothing else to say. Karma is a man on a mission.
75 off the bombardment, and he'll be fully streaked out. 1 more kill, and you're going to see that major notification pop up on a 7-kill streak. Karma crushing right now in the game 3.
These haven't even been close gunfights. He's not missing right now. 19-13, an 8 streak. They've got 2 players in the portal. Don't worry. You've got Karma there to potentially clean up both. 9-3, a 6-point run, 5-point run, sorry, since Karma started this streak.
And now the streaks are going to come in, looking for double digits on this streak. Pristini, catch.
Bye-bye.
He will drop 10 in a row, 21-13, 11 inside a lobby. He's going to peek. It's Arcitys, one of the more accurate players in the game, tries to get the drone and dip out, able to get away, but you still have camo for Karma. You've got streaks to work with. His teammates just cleaned up everybody on the map. This is getting out of hand. I casted a 23-3 game earlier. This one's starting to run away as well.
We've now been watching Karma for 90 seconds straight, and I'm sorry, eUnited fans, when the man's on an 11 streak and he's playing the way he is right now, there's no way we're showing anything else. Even now, to add insult to injury, it's the camo. It's another dunk, a 10-point lead now for OpTic Gaming. This is so one-sided, Maven.
Is he gonna die? Finally! Finally, 2 players push him, and the streak will come to an end, but the damage has been done on the scoreline, Jack. You think this one's probably all but over, but you have 2 minutes to work with if you're United.
29 kills. 29 kills is what OpTic Gaming is outslaying eUnited by in this game. when you think that there's a 5-second respawn timer in a game mode like Uplink, think of the difference that is of presence on the map. 29 times 5. I didn't even graduate from the 3rd grade, so I couldn't tell you what that even means in multiplication.
It's okay. You're not smart, Jack, but we're here for you. Hey, RC's trying to answer
something
back.
in common.
Yeah. He's trying to answer back with a little streak of his own, but finally will get cut down. And God, it's like OpTic, man. Absolutely wanting to send a message on day one, and it has been heard by the fans in attendance, by the teams in attendance. They're looking to start out 9-0. You know, while we have a little bit of time here, I mean, as anticlimactic as this series is going to be coming to an end, I mean, who's been the, I guess maybe the biggest surprises for you? Anything that stands out today? Is it Bittersweet with some shocking victories? Is it OpTic going 9-0? What stands out for you, pal?
Oh, God, there's been so much going on, man. It's been a whirlwind of day one. Bittersweet has to come to mind. Obviously, we've seen a fair share of struggles from the Mind Freak team. You want to see them do better, especially with the new pickup at Dens as their 4th. But right now, all eyes are on OpTic Gaming as they look like they're back into form, up 15-4. You've got Forwell now with the 30 mark. His 3 teammates trying to match him as well. This is rough to see, as typically a close matchup between eUnited and OpTic is not the case this time around.
It certainly is not. 30 seconds left to go as OpTic Gaming padding the stats right now on board with Forwell. He's got 32, 33, and 34. We're inside. Pristini, though, with a tactical grenade. Picks up everybody.
I think that was a flechette, but it's okay. You know what? We'll continue to move on. Definitely not a tactical. That grenade.
Oh, I mean tactical. Like that was his tactic.
Oh.
Take out the entire team.
I was going to say, no, that is definitely a grenade that explodes.
I think he's given up at this point.
Who cares? 16-4. Folks in the venue that are Green Wall fans, make some noise. Your team is perfect at the end of day one.
Even FaZe fans currently cheering OpTic Gaming.
We caught you red-handed. Right there. FaZe fans, just like OpTic fans, excited apparently, as OpTic are now a perfect 9-0 in map count, 3-0 in series. eUnited, you've got to bounce back from that one. You were perfect up to that point. Still though in a great spot to take second in this pool. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely can still land themselves a winners, championship winners bracket side as we move forward this weekend. Maybe that was as one-sided as they can get.
Yeah.
Don't forget there was a 6-0 S&D in there.
Anticlimactic is the phrase for it. I mean, we've had hour-and-a-half, 2-hour series today. Could that have extended much past 30, 40 minutes? Very, very quick. Dominant from start to finish was OpTic Gaming. I don't even know what there is to break down there. I mean, it was completely lopsided. I mean, yes, you can say it has to do with a different roster for United. Is it maybe just OpTic kind of pissed off after stage one and coming out hot? They have looked so good. 9-0, buddy.
That will do it for the matchup between eUnited and OpTic Gaming, but thankfully for Call of Duty fans everywhere, the action is not done here tonight at the CWL Anaheim Open. Up next, we've got FaZe Clan going up against Evil Geniuses. We'll be right back.